decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. He was critical to the decision to recognize Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. He was critical to the decision to declare finally and to restore the policy saying that Jews living in Judea, which is where we're from, we're called Jews because we're the people of Judea, that building apartments in Judea is not against international law. And he was critical, as you just spoke about, because of the peace process and that plan that was put forward. And I just want to, before I leave, I just want to say a couple of things about the peace plan that's important, because you asked some very interesting questions. There was an Israeli journalist, a very prominent Israeli journalist, who wrote 20 years ago an article after Ehud Barak had made this sweeping offer to the Palestinians at Camp David. He wrote an article after Arafat rejected that offer and launched a campaign of terrorism against Israel. He said that Barak had created a Copernican revolution because he had finally convinced Israelis that the problem was not that Israel wasn't willing to make compromises. It wasn't about Israeli intransigence. The problem was Palestinian rejectionism. The problem was Palestinian terrorism. And unfortunately, for their sake and for ours, that's been the case for 100 years, that the Palestinians have not recognized that the Jewish people are in the land of Israel, not just by might, but by right. That we are a people of Judea. That this is the land where our patriarchs prayed and our prophets preached and our kings ruled. They see us as foreign colonialists, as if Israel, for the Jewish people, is like India for the British, or Algeria for the French, or Congo for the Belgians. It's not. This is our ancestral homeland. And he said, for a while, Israel had forgotten that, and they thought, no, if only we will be generous, if only we will make a concession, we will get the possibility for peace. And there was this Copernican revolution. The problem with that revolution is it only took place in Israel. It was ignored all over the world. And people all over the world for 20 years have been acting like all we need to do is go back to Camp David. We're another 2 or 3 weeks away. You hear this? Everybody knows what the plan is. Everybody knows what the deal will look like. All this nonsense about, well, Israel can but won't, the Palestinians want to but can't, and then the worst, the most obscene. We just need leaders of courage who are willing to take this step. That's courage, because it'll get them some good articles in the New York Times, a good editorial, because the world will applaud them. You know what courage is? Doing something that is unpopular on the international stage and saying no to peace plans that threaten the survival of our country. That's why I'm proud to serve by the Prime Minister's side for so many years, because he had the courage to say no, to say I'm not going to accept the applause of the world and to bring about a plan that's going to endanger the survival of my country. That's what takes courage. And what I see in the peace plan that they have put forward is they have finally created a Copernican revolution for the United States. It is no longer Israel's intransigence. This tells the Palestinians, hey, you want to make peace with us? Here's the number. James Baker famously said, and wrongly said, the former Secretary of State, he said, when Israel's ready to have peace, call me. President Trump, because of David Friedman and Jared Kushner and Avi Berkowitz and Jason Greenblatt and everyone that's involved, has just put a phone down for the Palestinians and said, when you're serious about peace, you call. You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, the Palestinians can't stop paying people to murder Jews. There's a person here, Sander Gerber, who devoted himself to exposing this. I was just in AIPAC